are now being given the necessary attention by the government that is in power in Kaduna State. And again, a conference like this offers the citizens the opportunity to make their own contribution towards the peace, the unity, and the collective progress of our country. We are a nation of 224 million people, the biggest black nation in the whole world. But it's a fact and it's a reality which we cannot shy away. The masses of this country are facing serious economic challenges. People are suffering. People cannot feed their family. People cannot educate their children. People cannot transport themselves. People cannot afford medical care. But this is not just a product of the economic reforms, but as a result of the things we refused to do in the past or things we did badly. All nations that are undergoing transformation must undergo the period of pain and sacrifices. But sacrifices should not be for the poor people. People in the position of power must be seen to be making sacrifices. The president, the ministers, the governors, the senators, people holding position of authority and power must make these sacrifices. That is how we can make this country move forward. We have seen how nations like Singapore has transformed. We have seen nations like Indonesia and Malaysia have transformed. We have seen how Brazil and China has transformed. They all passed through the kind of period which we passed through. So it is our own hope with a convention and conference like this that the attention of people in power will be brought to order and the people will be encouraged and be conscientized to make sacrifices for the future and the collective progress of their country. Thank you very much.
One more question, distinguished. During the president's speech, he did mention that over 300 terrorist leaders have been deployed. So,
Nigeria in the last 1 decade has been a habitat for terrorists and a hope for bandits and terrorists. They kidnap our people in rural areas. They unleash a regime of mayhem. Our schools are not safe. Our farmers are not safe. Terrorists and bandits have destroyed the educational basis of our country in rural areas, and they have also destroyed the agricultural life of our people. We have seen how students were abducted. We have seen how commuters were abducted. We have seen how houses and communities were displaced and raided. But it's a fact, just like our reverend said, if you are going to make an objective comparison, we say things are comparatively better now than it used to be. People can travel from Kaduna to Abuja, unlike in the past when kidnapping was a daily event. Kidnapping of school was almost a weekly event from 2015 to 2023. We have seen a serious decline in that. And with the deployment of more soldiers to northwestern part of Nigeria, we have seen the incidence of kidnapping also going down. So we can say that we have left where we come from, but we are not where we should be. And we should thank God for that. Thank you.
We have pockets of kidnapping. We still have people being terrorized. We still have people being killed. We still have families sourcing for money to pay huge ransom. Then work needs to be done. The other day, the president in his speech said that they've been able to dislodge 300 terrorists. That shows us that these terrorists are more than what we are thinking. Because if we have dislodged 300, killed 300, and we are still having them in operation, that means if you look at what a normal setting of a military squad is, that means there are many. So a lot of work needs to be done to ensure that every terrorist, every person that is causing Nigerian pains and denying other citizens sleep and is even causing them sorrow by losing their loved one must not be spared. There is no religion about it, there is no tribe or region. An enemy of Nigeria is an enemy of Nigeria. Anybody who cause any Nigerians pains, our government must not sleep until they dislodge all of them. You're welcome.
Clergy, what will be our assessment of the current fight against terrorism by this present administration?
Well, you know that comparison is a necessity of humanity. You cannot have human beings that don't compare. So if you have somebody in power at a time and you have another person in power at another time, definitely people will compare. It is just human, it's natural. In fact, if two people wear the same uniform and are working, people will start comparing. Who is smarter? Definitely, there is a major difference between the experiences of the past and the current experiences we're having in the country, and particularly, I can say, in Kaduna State. We are grateful to God. We believe that there has been more intensive intervention to ensure peace and security in the state. We are grateful to His Excellency that it is not just to tell us that we should experience security. We are actually seeing it ourselves. And even though it is not totally eradicated, we can see that much progress has been made. We are so grateful to the government, and we pray that the government will not relax, it will continue. But there is a major difference, that you cannot compare light and darkness and not see a difference. To us, we have a better season, and may God perpetuate it for us. Yes, thank you very much. We all know that we are facing serious challenges. Like many people have said in Nigeria, if Nigeria is going to forge ahead as a nation, we must make some sacrifice. Everybody in the nation must make some sacrifice. I think the problem that Nigerians have is the suddenness of the sacrifice that has to be made. Things dropped too sharply, and definitely Nigerians are crying out. We are not saying the government is doing nothing. We are not saying that. But we are just trying to appeal to the government that it will probably need to make haste a little slowly and program the various steps that will be taken so that it will not be too heavy on people. Presently now, the area we want the government to work on is this issue of transportation. And this is because fuel has become very expensive. Something has to be done, because when the fuel goes down to some extent, we are not saying to a ridiculous level, but we have experienced the painful part. If it can come down a little, then farm products will also be, will be lower. House rent will be lower. And the issue of school fees, if you go, I'm a proprietor of a university, and if you know how much they have to pay for diesel every day, you say, how will the university survive with this kind of payment? So things are so expensive. We need intervention, and if they can do it in the fuel area, it will be a major area to help the masses.